Hello everyone, I am sad to report that the Halo show is bad. That's an understatement. If you're a Halo fan, you're not going to like this show. If you're not a Halo fan, then you'll just be confused by this show. According to Stephen Kane, one of the creators of the show, it's made for both.
What?
It's made for everybody, when I think he achieved the opposite. I think I lean more on the Halo fan side of things. I loved the games growing up. I've been kind of slipping off the Halo bandwagon. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan now. I kind of liked Infinite in some ways, but yeah, I'm not like a super fan like I used to be when I was younger. Would I have liked this show if it came out during Halo's heyday? No, I would not. I am not joking when I say this is not a Halo show. It's a very strange sci-fi show with a Halo skin.
Greetings!
That's kind of the best way I can put it. And it's full of bullshit, and we'll be getting into the details of that.
I'm sorry, did you mean to suck?
Thank you so much to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Raid Shadow Legends has taken over, and gaming will never be the same again. Raid is the first game to bring a true console-level experience to your phone. They've set the bar high, and there's no going back. With hundreds of artifacts to equip, and over 600 champions blessed with unique skills, you can build your team, develop your champions, and raid your way. This game includes pretty much anything fantasy you can think of. Ever since becoming a massive fan of Tolkien, dwarves have been a favorite of mine in the fantasy setting, and Raid has a ton of them. 3 of my favorite dwarven champions are Rockbreaker. I mean, just look at him. He do break rock well though. I like him because he has a lot of HP and a pretty high defense stat. Then there's Herndig. He's just a really cool looking dwarf with a big hammer. I like him because he's very well rounded. He has super high attack and good defense. His HP is a little bit lower than my other champions, but this next champion makes up for that. Tormund the Cold. I just love the look of this guy. He has massive HP and a ton of defense, so he's a really great support champion. And this month, Raid's got a non-stop schedule of special events and activities, including Forge Pass Season 3, with some amazing rewards on offer, including a limited edition artifact set. If that's not enough, Raid's bringing out some new champions, along with some awesome looking champion skins for the incredible Madame Saris. But wait, here's the big news. Later this month, Raid is giving everybody's favorite champion the upgrade he deserves. You might have seen his struggle for awesomeness in some of Raid's hilarious videos, but finally, Death Knight is becoming a legendary champion. It's something a lot of Raid players have been waiting for, and I can't wait to see how Ultimate Death Knight turns out. This is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan this QR code on the screen, you'll get unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking a free epic champion, Tayrel, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, and 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in the game. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Thank you so much to Raid for sponsoring this video. Now back to the review. The funniest part about this show is that nobody saw it. It aired on a streaming service that nobody has, Paramount Plus. I got it just for the show, and I want my money back. I was kind of curious to see what people thought of the show, so I posted a poll on Twitter, and these were the results. Yep. Nobody saw it. And from what I can gather, those that did see it didn't get past episode 3. In fact, I wanted to quit after episode 3, but instead I decided to make a video. So I planted my ass down, tried to get the tastiest snacks I could think of, and I endured all 9 episodes of this trash. God, 9 hours of my life gone, just so I could tell all of you about what actually happens in the show. Because apparently nobody knows.
That hurts, Chief. That hurts real bad.
Episode 1 takes place on a planet called Madrigal. Apparently this is a planet in the Halo lore. I don't know. I couldn't help but think of that Disney movie Encanto. You know the song, Welcome to Family Madrigal? Yeah, I guess welcome to Planet Madrigal, where this really shitty plot unfolds. Watch people get slaughtered on Madrigal. I gotta say, the show doesn't open terribly. Right away they establish the formidability of the Spartans, with a bunch of people sitting around a table talking about how powerful they are. They establish the threat of the Covenant by showing them mow down a bunch of innocent people. So I can imagine as a Halo fan, you're probably getting pretty hyped, you know? Oh my God, this is so sick. Oh, the Covenant here, they're fucking shit up. This is gonna get crazy.
I am a sight to behold, but since we have killing to do, get on with it.
And then an elite rams into a truck, and the truck flips the opposite way it's supposed to, given the direction it was struck. So the cracks are starting to show pretty early, and the effects aren't the best. Overall, I thought it was a pretty effective scene to show how normal people are very helpless against the Covenant. Some of the CGI during these action scenes don't appear natural at all. You kind of have to squint to make yourself believe that these things are real. And then Master Chief drops from a pelican. He's in his armor. It's pretty awesome. Things are getting pretty cool. Shit's going down. This is pretty awesome, right? Well, it doesn't last long. I wish I had more praise for this show. I wish I did, guys, because I like Halo. And I want to get this off my shoulders right away. The music in this show is forgettable, and it's a sin. Within the massive mountain of failure that the show is, the most egregious failure is having boring music. From a game series with some of the best music in the entire industry, my praise is endless for Martin O'Donnell. Holy shit. When I was a kid, I played the Halo 2 soundtrack on repeat. I was hoping for something, at least, you know? Some cool guitar riffs, like something. Please, but there was nothing. Even the opening theme has boring music, barely reminiscent of that iconic Halo song that everybody knows. There are some first-person moments in this show, and they're kind of awkward. I get it, you know, it's from a game, a first-person game, so we gotta put those in. I just wish the effects were better. Also, right away in the show, one of the elites calls Master Chief a demon. You get it? Because they did it in the games.
Perhaps we shall have a chance to take on the demon together. Demon.
No, don't bother thinking about why they call him this, but they call him this. It would have been much better if Master Chief did something during the show to earn the name Demon. It doesn't even have to match the games. I'm fine with this being a completely different take on the Halo story, if it felt like a Halo story, but it doesn't at all. Instead, we get 9 hours of this random guy walking around talking to people.
Don't get too comfortable.
Yeah, this guy, that's Master Chief. And no hate towards Pablo Schreiber. I think he was pretty good for the role. I feel like he had a good enough voice for Master Chief.
Incoming.
His stature was good enough for Master Chief. He's got that tough guy look. It's fine, you know? Like, I think he makes a perfectly suitable Master Chief. I just wish they went the Mandalorian route with him. You know? Like, keep the helmet on most of the time. And he doesn't have to be a blabbermouth.
I saw it as a child.
Give him fewer lines. Master Chief is supposed to be serious and brooding. Now, I know it's a little bit different, right? Because in the games, they made him silent most of the time because they wanted the player to put themselves in his shoes. And that's why they didn't have him remove his helmet, because they wanted the player to imagine themselves as Master Chief. Now, that makes a lot of sense. Doesn't mean this route is not effective in a show, especially when you're trying to capture his same essence, which they didn't at all.
Because they'll need to go through me first.
So there's this guy named Jin Ha and his daughter Quan. They're Madrigal locals and they're part of a rebellion against the UNSC. I guess they're trying to seize control of their planet or something.
The UNSC will come at us with everything they've got.
And Quan has a huge arc throughout the show, trying to reclaim power over Madrigal. There's this evil dictator guy, but the problem is, I don't care. They try and make you care with this very depressing scene of her father dying. She watches as her father sacrifices himself to save her, and then he dies at the hand of a Covenant. And yeah, her father really cared about freeing Madrigal, but it was the Covenant that killed him. But throughout the show, she really just wants to free Madrigal. She couldn't care less about the Covenant, the very scary, dangerous aliens that came out of the sky and slaughtered all of your friends and family, but you just want to free Madrigal? Like, you don't care about getting revenge against the Covenant?
I'm going to free Madrigal even if I'm the only one left.
It's very weird. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We get to see High Charity. This is where the Covenant command is located, and it's basically a large space mushroom. I like the space mushroom. I just want to be positive for once, please. Can we just talk about the space mushroom? It's pretty neat. They fly into the big dome thing, and it has like a stem, like, give me something. We get to see a prophet, you know, slug dudes, and he's talking to a woman, like a regular ass woman, and she's reading human literature. Bruh. This lady is very important to the plot of the show. She was taken in by the Covenant when she was very young, and they like raised her, and she loves them, and she wants to help them. Eventually she falls in love with Master Chief. Her loyalties start to bend a little bit, and then she finds out that the Covenant were lying to her the entire time, and that they were just using her to get the weapon, which is the Halo ring. That's it. That's her entire arc. I'm sorry, did I spoil it already? Whoops. So then Master Chief finds a Forerunner triangle rock thing that the Covenant were excavating right outside of the encampment. All of the Covenant decide to abandon this very precious object to murder helpless humans for fun, I guess, because I can't think of any other reason they would want to do that. Master Chief touches the rock glows, he gets a vision. What does it all mean? Oh God, are they really doing it? Are they making Master Chief the chosen one? I think they are, yes. In fact, I've already watched all 9 episodes. Yes, Master Chief is the chosen one. I like how in the games he's just extremely talented, and with the help of his AI companion, and with a lot of luck, he's able to overcome these insurmountable obstacles. But in the show, he's like a Luke Skywalker, chosen from birth to be the chosen one, to find the ring of power. Literally the ring of power. The dialogue leaves a lot to be desired in this show. Master Chief tells a joke, or what I would like to assume is a joke.
Nuts, bolts, microchips.
It's about his favorite food. Dear Lord, whoever this is, it's not Master Chief. Who is this imposter?
That was a joke.
And get him out of that armor, please. We learn that Master Chief was ordered to kill Quan's mother, and he did so, without question.
We were ordered to eliminate the organizer.
Just murdered her. And Quan is surprisingly friendly with him, given this fact. When faced with this knowledge, Master Chief is just like, oh shit, my bad, bro. Didn't mean to. They were just orders, you know, like, whoops, things happen, you know? And then Quan's like, you've never questioned your orders before? So for the first time in Master Chief's life, he questions the orders. It took someone to literally say that to him for him to be like, you're right. I guess touching the artifact unlocked Master Chief's empathy or something. Okay. He's got a little chip in his back that removes all pleasure from life. He's basically just a machine. Master Chief is then ordered to kill Quan because of her threat to the UNSC's reputation. Yeah, they tried questioning her, and she's not behaving herself. So, you know, just get her out of here. They don't want her spreading rumors about the UNSC, and they don't want her forming an uprising or something. Master Chief really likes Quan. They've been talking for like 2 minutes, but he likes this girl. He's seen countless people die before.
Leader is down! Everyone freak out!
But this girl, we exchanged a joke or something, so I'm going to betray everything I know to save her.
That was a joke.
It's kind of silly, right, that the UNSC would have Master Chief carry out these petty executions. He's your most valuable soldier. He's like the top of the top, right? Like, you don't have anybody better than Master Chief. Shouldn't he be doing something else? You have so many other people that could do this, but they just have Master Chief do them for some reason. It makes no sense. They even have other Spartans that could do this instead. No, Master Chief should be doing something a little bit more important. Surely he has better things to do. So yeah, Master Chief decides to save Quan instead of kill her. So Silver Team, which is a group of 3 Spartans, is tasked with securing and protecting Chief by Halsey. A little under an hour into the first episode, Chief removes his helmet, and he basically keeps it off for the remainder of the show. He removes it to gain Quan's trust. But surely there's another way, right? No, if he shows his face, then, you know, they'll trust each other because he's removing his super armor, and that means he's like making himself more vulnerable in front of her. Dude, he's a Spartan. He could be naked and he could kill her in a millisecond without any weapons. It makes no sense. Wow. And it's not like Quan doesn't know this. They know this about Spartans. You're faced with a Spartan, you're gonna shit your pants.
Change your panties and flush him out!
Yeah, removing the helmet, I mean, that means a lot. And it's not like Spartans never remove their helmets in this universe. They're not like Mandalorians. They don't have like this code to keep their helmets on all the time. So I kind of understand why he takes his helmet off sometimes. I just wish it was sometimes and not all the time. He's got his helmet on for like 10 minutes in the entire show. 9 hours of content and you hardly ever see him as the Master Chief that we all know and love. He's just this guy named John. And I know Master Chief is named John, but they really wanted us to get to know John. Fuck Master Chief, who's that? We want John, this guy. That's what we want. That's what the Halo community wants, right? So the show so far is mostly about the UNSC versus Chief, who disobeyed orders and turned his back on everybody he's ever known to save the life of this random woman that he kind of likes after like 2 minutes of talking to her. You know, that's kind of weird. Oh, there's also this strange mystery glowing rock thing. It unlocks John's memories, and we'll get into that. It's pretty silly. You'd assume that after touching the rock, if that unlocked his empathy, then he would have this huge tidal wave crash over him mentally, right? Thinking about all the people over the years that he failed to save, all the horrors that he's seen in war come rushing back because, you know, that's a lot to take in. But I guess it doesn't unlock your empathy as far as your memories are concerned. Just from this moment onward, literally 5 minutes before he touched the rock, he failed to save like 100 innocent people that got slaughtered by the Covenant. He arrived on scene a little bit too late, I think. But no, it's this random woman that he just feels the urge to save for some reason, because she asked him, you know, you should really question your orders sometimes. So Master Chief and Quan try to escape, but they're cornered by the UNSC. Their Pelican doors are about to be blasted open, but in a stroke of luck, which I know is very Halo, the weird glowing rock thing disables the power to everything and gives power to the Pelican so they can fly away. Now I know one of the main themes in Halo is luck, but they're laying it on a little bit thick with this scene, don't you think? Like, thank you, random rock, for saving me. That was convenient. Moving on to episode 2. I'm going to be referring to Master Chief as John from now on because he's not Master Chief. He's just John. In this show, John thinks back on a time when he was younger and turned his back on a plan to leave with his friend Soren and instead decide to betray him because he's very loyal to the UNSC. That is, until there's a random woman that he's told to kill and he doesn't want to, in which case he will just betray everybody. Now I know she's not a random woman. She's the daughter of this other guy who's pretty important on Madrigal, but like, whatever. We then get to see Silver Team without helmets. Their names are Riz, Kai, and Vanek. Kai somehow puts her helmet over a ponytail and it just works, and it bothers me a lot. John and Quan, why does it have to rhyme? Yeah, so John and Quan travel to a human-occupied asteroid named Rubble to meet up with Soren, who helps them navigate the rock. Yeah, the same Soren that John betrayed all those years ago. But I guess they kept in contact all of these years? John knows where Soren is. He knows his exact location, and he can just call him up whenever. Hey, what's up, Soren? Yeah, yep, same dude that fucked you over. Hey, mind helping me out? I'm in kind of a pinch. And it's kind of risky for John to keep in contact with Soren, given the fact that Soren abandoned Halsey and the UNSC and is a traitor. He's literally a pirate, like a pirate captain in this show. And he's still John's friend after all this time. He just knows where he is. Wow. I love how John's only plan after being miraculously saved by this artifact was to run to a random friend from like 20 years ago that he betrayed and to ask that guy for help because he wants to save the life of this random woman. In the next scene, we get a conversation between the prophets, this elite, and the blessed one. The blessed one is that random woman, and her name is Makee. Guess what, guys? The Covenant also seeks the Keystone, which is basically just two artifacts that fit together so they can find the location of the ring, which is a massive weapon. Obviously. Yeah, the same rock that the Covenant abandoned to kill all those random people on Madrigal because some random kids made some noise and they were like, hey, someone's making noise. Let's go towards the noise. Hey, look, they're humans. Time to kill them. Let's all abandon our posts and go kill these humans. Like right now, there's nothing more important we need to be doing. Let's all go kill these random helpless humans. We then get a meeting where Halsey explains how this new tech, Cortana, can be used to control Master Chief. I'm sorry, John. Cortana was created using a clone of Dr. Halsey. And then we get a scene on Planet Madrigal in Madrigal City. Yep, that's the name of the city. Hey guys, welcome to Earth. And this is Earth City. It's the one city on Earth, and it's called Earth City because we're on Earth. They do that again later in the show with Reach City on Planet Reach. Imagine how dumb it would be if we named the first city on Mars Mars City. We learn that John and the other Spartans can't taste food because of their battle focus implant that numbs them to life's pleasures. It's this tiny chip that's implanted at the bottom of their spine. So yeah, they can't enjoy Oreos, and they will not be going to Yankee Candle anytime soon. I failed to notice how removing their taste would make them a more effective warrior. I guess they can't afford them eating too many Twinkies, when they would be forced to eat specific food anyway. And not only that, a person's sense of taste is kind of important. The human species has developed a sense of taste over the years, so when we forage a random berry or something, our taste buds will tell us if it's poisonous or not. Granted, I don't think a Spartan has to worry about being poisoned. I'm just saying, it's just kind of weird. So Soren brings John and Quan to a guy named Reth. He's in this psych ward prison thing, except the door to his cell isn't locked, which is weird. So they talk to this Reth guy, who was apparently once a prisoner on a Covenant ship, and he escaped, miraculously. Either that or he was saved by the UNSC. I'm unsure if they specified which. Soren claims that Reth might have some insider knowledge on what this artifact thing is. So get this. Reth is basically this show's random old wise guy that knows everything, and the main characters go to find out stuff, so the plot can move forward. That's basically it. But if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, it makes no sense. Let me continue. Reth knows that the Covenant's religion is based on very old technology, and they roam the galaxy searching for clues about the Forerunners. I guess he can understand their language somehow, because he was on the ship and listened to them speak to each other long enough to learn their language. He must have been on that ship for a long time. He also knows that only human blessed ones can activate and use the artifacts. How does he know this? Well, apparently because he knows about the one they have, which obviously is Makee, and they tried to test Reth on the artifact, and it didn't work, because they were trying to find out if he was a blessed one. So if the Covenant already had Makee, then why would they ask him to activate the artifact, if they already have somebody that can do that? And how would they even know this? They don't have the artifacts yet. They were in this random cave, and another one is somewhere else. So I'm not entirely sure how they were able to test. They wouldn't have an artifact to activate, would they? Unless they have another random one that we just don't know about. Reth also knows that the Covenant are after a ring that is a door to a weapon. This guy knows a shit ton for being a prisoner aboard a ship. Did the Covenant have this random prisoner sit in on their battle meetings and take notes? What is happening? How is this possible? Did he have his ear pressed up against the wall, and was he listening through the walls? What? For anybody that has played a Halo game, this is what the Covenant cells look like. They're far away from everything else, and there's a bunch of them in the same room, and you have no contact with any Covenant. So the Covenant would walk to his cell, right? Take him out of the cell, bring him to the artifact that they have, apparently, and have him touch it. And oh my god, it doesn't work, so they bring him back to his cell. So you're telling me that within that one moment of them bringing this guy to the artifact, he found out a shit ton about their plans. They must have just been listing them off when he was in the room. Oh my god, guys, we need a blessed one. This girl is a blessed one, and she can touch the artifact and it will activate it. But we want to test this guy for some reason. No idea why. Also, our plans, Prisoner Reth. Are you taking notes? Get out your tablet, please. Yeah, we're trying to find artifacts to find a ring of power because it's a huge weapon. We can use it to kill the UNSC. It's very important. Yeah, we search the galaxy looking for Forerunner stuff. You know how we do it. Okay, so you got all that down, right? All right. Back to your cell. I hope we don't accidentally leave the cell unlocked so you can escape. Whoopsie. After learning about the Covenant's plan to find this weapon, John feels like he has no choice but to return to Halsey with the artifact. And he leaves Quan behind with Soren, this woman that he was desperate to save. He leaves her with this random pirate guy that he hardly knows. Yeah, it's been a long time since they spoke, but he trusts this guy completely with this woman from a different planet, like she knows nothing about this place. He just brought her here, and yeah, she's here now. And that's that. Yeah, the best part is Quan's story is with Soren now. From now on, she has nothing to do with Master Chief aside from one random vision later in the show. Master Chief, I'm sorry, I keep calling him Master Chief. It's John, okay? John randomly dumps this girl on this guy who he knew from 20 years ago that he betrayed. And he's like, promise you will take care of her, okay? And Soren's like, no problem, dude. I got you. This is totally cool with me. You can do that. Just come by whenever you want and drop a random person on my lap. I'll take care of them because, you know, we're great friends since you betrayed me all those years ago.
You've got 5 minutes, and then I'm waking up the entire camp.
For all John knows, Soren would just like dump her into a prison cell or have her slave away for them at gunpoint because there's nothing she could do. Like, what the fuck? I can't get over it, guys. I'm going to risk everything I've ever known, turn my back on everybody to save this random person just so I can have her stay with a pirate so he can do God knows what with her. And I will forget about her from here on out. Who is this woman? I don't know. I don't care. Yeah, John doesn't give a shit about her from this point onwards. It's so weird. So John returns to the UNSC and he's taken in by Silver Team. Halsey arrives to retrieve the artifact. Pretty cool to see real working warthogs in this scene. Yes, I have to pepper in some positivity, okay? I have to find some bits that I like, okay? I know it's hard. I'm struggling here. Episode 3. The first scene is with McKee, the Blessed One, who has access to some very nice shampoo. Look at that hair. Wow, it's clean. She also has makeup and hair dye. The Covenant want her to look her best. Halsey and her assistant absorb Halsey's clone's brain data into a computer using a small needle that they inject into her eye. Whatever, it's sci-fi stuff. Maybe this is how it will work in 1,000 years. Who knows? So instead of just being an onboard AI for Master Chief, for basically mission and combat guidance alone, and the tiny bits of small talk too, you know.
Don't make a girl a promise
if you know you can't keep it.
What's Cortana without some small talk? In this show, she's meant to fully integrate with John and control him entirely, basically just turning him into a robot. So what's the point of the fleshy sack beneath? Put a robot in there that can't break from, you know, organs failing and stuff like that. I know he's like a superhuman, okay? Wouldn't just a robot be better in this case? If you're just gonna take the humanity out of him entirely, then what's the body for? Halsey doesn't give full control to Cortana because she needs to know how the artifacts affect John first. And she doesn't know whether or not that will be bad for Cortana. Halsey asserts that Cortana will increase John's effectiveness by 100-fold. Also, Halsey has this random assistant man and he's very weird. He's a very strange individual. He tries to kiss Halsey's clone in one scene for no reason, and this leads to nothing. This guy's weird sexual side makes no other appearance in the show. Maybe they put this in to show the audience how much he loves Halsey in like the creepiest way possible, but yeah, they just put that in. He's a creep. Cool. So McKee convinces the UNSC that she is a prisoner. So they bring her aboard and she ambushes them with hunter worms and they take over the ship. While the hunter worms don't look the best, the effects leave a lot to be desired. It's still a pretty cool scene, and this was a very creative way to utilize the hunter worms. In the games, you don't really see them like this. You see them in their hunter form and that's basically it. So yeah, it was a pretty creative scene. I kind of like this part. It is weird that nobody shoots her once they see the worms coming aboard. So instead of Cortana being this like little figure that comes out on Master Chief's arm and stands on these little panels, she's a full human-sized hologram that just walks around like a regular person. I don't like this change. I think it was a lot cuter when she was a tiny person.
Yank me, Chief.
We get another scene with Quan. Quan convinces Soren that he could get rich if he joins her on a mission to save Madrigal, her home planet. Now that John is back with the UNSC, they don't punish him, surprisingly. Now I get that he's a very valuable asset, but maybe his betrayal wasn't worth just being like, you know what, bad boy.
Idiot.
But they don't even slap him on the wrist for this betrayal. He gets back and he just, you know, life goes on as usual, like he was never gone. It's very strange. Also, earlier in the show, they cared a lot about Quan. They needed her dead because of the threat that she posed against the UNSC. They needed her dead so bad, they tasked Master Chief himself to do the job. But now that John has brought her to some random place, they could care less about Quan. They don't question him about her whereabouts. They don't care about her anymore. Who's Quan? I don't know. There is this random general guy on Madrigal that wants her dead. He goes all out to kill her. But as far as the higher ups in the UNSC, yeah, they just forgot about her existence as soon as they got Master Chief back. Master Chief is very irritated by the presence of Cortana all of a sudden, and it makes sense. I like that he is irritated by her. I would be too.
Go disappear!
Cortana, at Halsey's behest, helps John remove the pleasure dampening pellet from his ass. Well, it's actually on his lower back, but they definitely wanted us to see Master Chief's cake. Multiple times in the show, actually. You know what I wanted from a Halo show? I want to know what Master Chief thinks about Marines flirting on a train. I want to know what his favorite band is. Does he like the Beatles? Or is he more of an Ozzy Osbourne type of guy? These are the questions that the Halo community wants the answers to. And this show is out to do just that. Now, I'm not saying exploring John's background was a disaster move, okay? I think it's a pretty ballsy move on the showrunner's part. I think creating a Halo show has to explore John's past at least somewhat, but it seems like that's what this entire show is about. It never ends. John's past is basically the entire plot thread. Yeah, don't get me wrong, John is pretty cool. I like Master Chief. He's badass. But I don't care if he prefers almond joys to mounds. It's kind of cute showing us how John is experiencing his human and passionate side for the first time, but I think it should have ended here. I definitely do not want a sex scene with Master Chief. That's what I don't want. Spoiler alert, we're getting it.
So yummy.
Yeah, you're getting it. In this show, they dove headfirst into this idea, into trying to flesh out John as a character in more of a personal sense than we're used to in the games. Going into his family's past and the planet where he was born. It must be kind of difficult thinking about how you can turn Halo into a TV show. And I think going in depth with John as a character is a good idea. But that's basically all this show is. That sinking feeling that everything is lost because the Covenant is taking over the galaxy. Remember that in the games? Well, it's not in the show. That incredibly eerie and horrific feeling when you meet the Flood for the first time in the games. Not in the show. The incredible exploration of a Halo ring, something that is incredibly alien, but we're not entirely sure what it is at first. But after exploring it for a while, we understand what the Covenant are up to. Instead, this show is a fetch quest for rocks that fit into each other, and that will reveal the position of one of these cool places that we wish that we could explore in the show. Imagine turning a franchise as cool as Halo into a 9-hour TV show that's basically one long fetch quest. And throughout the entire runtime, there's like 3 action scenes. Maybe like 2% of this entire show feels like Halo. So when I say it's not a Halo show, that's what I mean. We get to follow John as he's uncovering mysteries about his childhood. And Halsey is pushing him in this direction because she wants to find out the secrets about the artifacts. She has a good feeling that they will reveal a weapon that will help them win the war against the Covenant. Episode 4. This episode starts by showing us John's training as a child in the Spartan program. Halsey is talking to little boy John as if she somehow knew when he was 6 years old that he'd grow up to be the most formidable Spartan. She has incredible foresight. So when John was a little kid, this artifact chose him, I guess. There was a scene when Kai saw John removing his hormonal pellet from his back. And she got curious, you know, so she removed hers too. If this is all it takes for a Spartan to become curious about something, wouldn't it happen all the time? Like they're not curious about music, they're not curious about sex, they're not curious about tasty food. They're around Marines that experience this stuff. Maybe not sex, but all the rest, you know? But yeah, she removes this pellet, and for the first time, she's feeling creative thought. And so she dyes her hair red with gun grease. Is gun grease red? Can you dye your hair red with gun grease? I guess you can in the Halo universe. I'm so confused by this because wouldn't the hormonal pellet prevent these curious thoughts from arising in the first place? So Kai wouldn't remove the pellet? Maybe not. Maybe I'm not understanding it entirely. We learn that John's father dug up something near their home when John was just a child. So they go digging, and John remembers this because of the artifact unlocking his memories. So John, as an adult, travels to this planet where he was born and goes searching for this random thing that his father was digging up. What the hell is happening? This is not Halo. Not the Halo I remember. We learn that John's father buried something near their home when John was just a child.
Found something.
What does Chief find? A box full of poorly drawn vaginas.
Drawings.
I don't recognize this one, John says. I wonder why, John. Did his father know what they were? And why did he bury these pictures? In case he needed them later, so he could be reminded what they looked like? What? Very strange thing to keep hidden. Maybe he knew about the ring. Maybe he knew the Forerunners, like they were friends, and he helped them build the ring. Or something. What? That's the only reason he would want to bury them, right? Because he knows what they lead to. If he didn't know what they led to, there'd be no reason to keep them hidden. So, who is John's father? And how does he have this knowledge that Halsey doesn't have? So remember Madrigal? Yep, well, there's an oppressive force on Madrigal, led by this guy named Governor Vincher. Yeah, the same creepy guy from the movie The Watcher. They just like making this guy evil. He's got that evil face. Quan and Soren attend the most boring concert in existence. Actually, it's a celebration of her father's life. It's like a ritual or a ceremony or something. And we learn again that Vincher is a bad guy.
It's dangerous here. If Vincher finds you...
I know.
And he has support by the UNSC. And there are traitors, and the rebellion is dead.
You're putting us all...
You're a traitor!
And there's no hope for Madrigal. Oh no, it looks like Quan has to come here and save the day. I don't care about Madrigal. I don't care about Madrigal. Like, oh my god, her father died, it's so sad. I don't care still. Give me a better reason to care, please. They spend so much time trying to make us care about this girl and her mission to save her home planet. But there's no reason to care. She's not even likable.
My dad fought and died so you could all be free.
We then get a scene of Cortana recreating a digital image of John's house back when he was younger so he can relive his childhood memories. He gets to watch his memories play out in front of him. It's pretty insane tech, but this is sci-fi, so gotta let it slide. Like, I'm not sure how you could possibly do this, but they do it somehow. John touched the artifact when he was very young. He just went wandering off randomly and touched the artifact. He found this cool looking rock and touched it. And it spoke to him because he's a chosen one for some reason. Like, what makes someone a chosen one? Your blood type? Do you have to touch this thing when you're very young? What? So John's father took these pictures that John drew when he was very young. And he was like, oh my god, these must be very important. So he buried them. Why not just put them on the fridge, dude? Your son is drawing random triangles. It's not that deep. Why did his father come to the conclusion that these are very important drawings that must be hidden? So John learns that Halsey is the one that took him away from his family when he was younger.
Can it be a secret?
And made him into who he is today. And he's all upset about it. Apparently they made up this lie for them as to why they were chosen for the Spartan program, and they didn't reveal to them that they were taken from their parents when they were younger. This is slowly getting revealed, and John is very upset about it.
Why were you here?
The whole thing where John learns that Halsey was lying to them all this time, I think it's fine. It presents some conflict, and it's fun. But the way they go about doing it, with all these memories and everything, and these special rocks, it's just kind of dumb.
One word for you.
So Quan and Soren have to find Quan's aunt, I guess.
We need to see my aunt. She's the one who controls the family money.
Because Quan's aunt knows things. Why does this show feel like I'm watching someone else play the most boring missions in the Outer Worlds? That's what it feels like. The Venture has someone named Franco hunt them down.
Hello, Franco.
They meet up with Quan's aunt, and Quan's aunt tells her that her father had a meeting with some desert mystics who convinced him that it was his responsibility to free Madrigal.
It was his responsibility to free Madrigal.
So now Quan needs to find these mystics. Franco finds them, kills this woman's aunt. Like, I don't care. Okay. And they barely escape. Oh no, it's so exciting. The Silver Team tells a story about how Halsey gave them pets as kids, which they named. And if they were to fail a training procedure, they were forced to kill their pet to really hammer it home that failure has consequences.
She had us eliminate them.
This leads me to ask, what age was this hormonal pellet implanted into them? Because this pet exercise would have very little effect if this inhibitor is already doing all of the heavy lifting. And if they didn't have that implant, then being forced to kill their pet would be extremely traumatizing.
Every failure carries consequences.
Oh my god, so far this show is 99% exposition. It's just non-stop talking. It's like this character talks to this person and they go to this place, and then they talk to this person and then they go to this place, and then oh my god, maybe something happens, probably not, but then they go to this place, and then they talk to this person and they get more information about whatever bullshit. And then they go to this place. Also, apparently the Spartans have fought and killed Covenant so often that they somehow learned to speak their language.
You Spartans have spent more time with the Covenant than anyone.
I'm not sure how that's possible. Very impressive. I mean, they probably have some like mind implants or something that enhance their learning capabilities, but still, it doesn't make much sense because how could they possibly hear what the Covenant are saying to each other over all the gunfire? Maybe they captured one and they learned from it over time. I'm giving this show the benefit of the doubt wherever I can. Kai knows the Covenant word for sacred ring. somehow.
I have sacred ring.
Which leads her and this woman named Miranda into finding out that the artifacts are a key to a ring. At the end of this episode, John locates the special spot. He just finds the second artifact. The way he finds this place is so contrived, it hurts. It just so happens to be the second piece of the artifact that he stumbled upon on Madrigal. Conveniently, like it just happened to stumble upon it. The one thing in the universe that is connected to that other thing that he touched as a kid. He just happened upon it. It was just there. He dropped down to kill some Covenant. He explored a cave, and wow, there it is.
Hello there.
The thing that we need. Found it. They start episode 5 by showing us John as a child, and we learned that Captain Keyes and Halsey were a thing back then. Yeah, they were in love. You guys know Soren, right? The pirate captain? He's a really nice guy. You know how I know? Because in this scene, he handcuffs Quan to an inoperable bike in the middle of the desert. Yes, their bike breaks down, and so Soren has to go find a different means of transportation for them. But he doesn't want to bring Quan with him. I think he's afraid people will recognize her or something. So instead, he sentences her to death. He even says that he has to walk 100 miles to get a transport vehicle for them.
Transport ships over 100 miles from here.
So Quan's dead then. You just killed her. She's in the middle of the desert. And he's probably dead too, you know, having to walk that far in the desert, in that armor, which he doesn't take off. I know he's a Spartan and he has a super body, so maybe it's different for him. But Quan is definitely dead. Unsurprisingly, the dialogue is still god-awful. For example, this line.
I wonder if all that gun grease in your head didn't seep down into your brain.
John spots Kai, and he notices that her hair is dyed.
When did you remove your pellet?
After finding out that she removed her hormonal pellet, he grounds her like he's her daddy. He claims that she's a danger to herself and others because she removed her pellet. I obviously don't have to point out how hypocritical this is, because Kai does that for us.
You removed your pellet? If I'm so dangerous, what's that make you?
And John just kind of stares back at her and he's like, yeah, you're right. We then get a scene with the blessed one, Makee. She's talking to an elite and he's like, yo, the artifact isn't here. And she goes, yeah, but it was here and the energy will lead us to the right place. So keep looking. Don't worry, the show doesn't make sense and we can explain this away with random bullshit. And he's like, sounds good. Guess how Quan survives? By smacking the handcuffs with a rock. Yep. That does it. The UNSC is testing the second artifact and they start drilling into it. It creates a massive explosion. Makee touches the spot where the first artifact used to be. It gives her an orgasm so she can locate the second artifact. It looks like that's what happened. John touches the second artifact and it gives him more visions of his past. He learns that Halsey is directly responsible for kidnapping him from his home when he was younger. He attempts to attack Halsey, but Cortana shuts him down at the last second.
Shutting down neural bridge.
Like he's a computer and you clicked on the wrong link in your email and all this shit starts popping up on screen. You freak out, so you pull the plug. That's what happened, basically. John isn't dead though. Cortana just has this really awesome ability to switch the light off whenever she wants to. Obviously, Halsey put this in as a failsafe. I know that, but still. Soren miraculously returns to find that Quan is gone. Apparently, she waited under the sand for him to return when he had to travel 200 miles so she could stun him. How long was she under the sand? Dear Lord, what? Anyway, when John wakes up, conveniently his angry outburst is interrupted by a Covenant attack. His orders are to get the artifact to safety. And who gives him these orders? Halsey. The same person that he's very upset with, but he's got to obey, you know.
Orders are to get the artifact to Dr. Keyes' ship.
The Covenant are here and it's a pretty dire situation. God, do what Halsey says, except you don't. He just agrees to help. He's like, okay, yeah, I know that you're kind of a psycho woman and you stole me from my family when I was younger, but that conversation can wait. I'm gonna do what you tell me to do. I think in reality, Chief would take action into his own hands, but I don't think he would go out of his way to save the artifact for Halsey. I think he would try and save people from the Covenant, but he wouldn't follow her orders. Granted, Cortana could always just shut him down again. This little skirmish with the Covenant finally makes the show feel like Halo for a moment. Pretty cool, though some of the special effects leave a lot to be desired. Chief hijacks a warthog and a banshee in this scene. He pulls off a cool stunt to save Kai. There's a part with a hammer-wielding brute. This is cool. I like this. More of this, please. But then we're introduced with another massive plot contrivance. A banshee is shot out of the sky and hits the warthog that was carrying the artifact, so it flies into the air and lands perfectly so a brute can beam down and pick it up and leave. It ends with Chief finding McKee after she's shot down to the surface in a pod. Suspicious. Yes, very suspicious. She's crawling on the ground out of nowhere. Where could this random woman have come from? That's the big question, except we already know. Episode 6. McKee tells the UNSC that the Covenant kidnapped her as a child and held her captive ever since.
That the Covenant had kidnapped her as a child.
And she somehow escaped their ship and found herself crawling in the middle of the battlefield, with beautifully clean hair and makeup still intact. John does question her later in the episode, but what's weird is that she immediately mentions the Keystones.
If the other Keystone is here, you are in great danger.
When questioned where the Covenant took the Keystone they stole, she has an answer for them, which doesn't make a lot of sense. If she was actually a prisoner, she wouldn't know this information. She shouldn't know anything about the Keystones, aside from the fact that they're random rocks that glow and give her visions when she touches them. And as a prisoner, why would she be anywhere near this battle on Eridanus in the first place? John doesn't bother to ask her how she escaped, of course. It's a pretty crazy feat to escape your cell, find an escape pod, and escape, all without being detected. But she did it somehow, and no one bothers to ask her how. She even knows who John is. She's like, oh, if it isn't the demon.
You're the demon.
Even though he's not wearing his famous armor, the only thing that they could recognize. And how would she know anything about him and what he looks like, even with the armor if she were a prisoner? You could argue that she saw him in her vision when she touched the artifact, but she doesn't tell John this. John doesn't wonder how she knows who he is at all. He's just like, hell yeah, I'm a huge celebrity in the galaxy. Everybody knows me, even random Covenant prisoners. She knows that John is a blessed one because all blessed ones are connected, I guess, which is fair enough. They can like smell or sense the blessedness on each other. I'm not joking. She expresses to John that they're alike in that way.
Because I'm like you.
John doesn't question how she knows that he's a blessed one. She just does. Why John can't sense and know everything about McKee right away, maybe because he's new to this? And it's kind of silly for McKee to jeopardize herself by putting herself in the hands of the UNSC when she can sense everything about Chief already. Seems like an advantage the Covenant wouldn't want to lose. Does she have to be within his immediate proximity for this ability to work or something? They don't explain it, just like they fail to explain most things in this show. John seals Halsey in a room and fills the room with radiation as a way to test how much control Cortana has over him. It's a pretty cool scene, but I'm not entirely sure how John keeps getting away with all this bullshit. Eventually, he learns that Cortana can't do anything else aside from shut him down, so he frees Halsey, and he doesn't get in trouble for this. It's very strange. Halsey has a lot of power here at the moment, but she allows John to do whatever he wants. Maybe because she needs him so he can use the artifacts to find this weapon. But that doesn't mean you can't punish him as well. He almost killed you.
A few seconds, John.
But no, it's fine, you know. I'll walk it off. It's just a little bit of radiation. I have 18 tumors growing in my tits and ass, but it's fine. Whatever. So the UNSC searched the Covenant star system that McKee told John about, and we get this Halsey interrogation scene. Apparently they replaced the Spartan children they stole
genetically compromised flash clones
with clones of the same kid, and the clone dies very shortly after the switch. They do this so the parents wouldn't go searching for their lost children.
They started to experience nosebleeds, headaches.
This part of the plot I kind of liked. Learning about how the Spartans were treated as children, how they were brought into the Spartan program to begin with. All that I thought was pretty interesting. It's just everything else I thought was very boring. Halsey is convinced that humanity needs what these artifacts lead to. She thinks it's a weapon that they can use to win the war.
When you're fighting an existential war, people don't ask too many questions.
How does she know this though? She just assumes it leads to a weapon, and her assumption is correct somehow. John Quan relays Halsey's lies to Kai. Admiral Margaret throws Halsey under the bus and has her sent away. So this woman, her name is Miranda, takes over Halsey's work. John touches the artifact in an attempt to find the location of the other. After some shared convulsing between John and McKee, they both have a vision on a halo ring. Episode 7. I'm starting to get very weary. It starts with a flashback of Quan and her family and friends eating dinner together. God, I don't care about any of these people. This show's gravest sin is that it's unbearably boring, with a lot of characters that aren't compelling at all. The main villain of Quan's story arc, this Venture guy, he has no personality. He's just another stereotypical mustache twirling villain. And maybe that's giving him too much credit, because when someone says mustache twirling villain, it's because they're plotting something. They have a scheme to gain more power or something like that. Venture is just this evil guy that wants Quan dead. He's just an evil dude. He's like really mean. He's even worse than General Hux from Star Wars. It's like they were trying to make their own Hans Landa from Inglourious Bastards, but they removed everything that made him interesting and horrifying and funny. And John's story arc is even worse, because there is no villain. I guess the prophets are kind of the villain, but he never once interacts with them. Instead, it's just like the Covenant in general. They are the villain. He has to defeat an entire race, I guess, to win the war. And while it did feel like that sometimes in the games, there were big baddies in the games too. There was the Hive Mind. The prophets actually interacted with Master Chief.
Where's he going?
To finish what we started.
There's even Escharum from Halo Infinite.
Bring me the Master Chief.
Couldn't go 5 seconds without monologuing about some bullshit and talking to Master Chief.
Our battle ends here.
In this show, there's no big baddie for John to take down. The Covenant do nothing to John personally. This entire show is basically just about John's quarrels with the UNSC, him finding out the secrets of his childhood, and then bonding with random Covenant human woman because these rocks chose them or something. I hate that. The fact that they gave Quan like this evil guy to take down, but not Master Chief, is astounding. John does have agency in this show, but it leads to nothing. We'll get there. The show turns into Mad Max Fury Road for a second, and Quan drives her buggy into a huge dust storm. There's some random people in the middle of this dust storm, so she stops her buggy and she's captured. I guess they were just chilling in this dust storm waiting for her because they knew she was heading straight towards them. We then get a scene of Soren back with his partner telling war stories at a space party. There's this dude there that calls him out for not returning with the girl.
What happened to the girl?
And how did he return here so fast? He's just there all of a sudden. What the hell happened between now and him being stunned in the desert? Quan stole his buggy, so did he just wake up and walk his ass 100 miles again and find something else to fly his ass up to that asteroid? Like, what the fuck? So remember the mystics that Quan's father went to see? You probably don't remember because you don't care. Well, it just so happens those were the same people that kidnapped Quan and brought her to their camp. The showrunners had to speed things along, it looks like. The pacing is very strange in this show. For the most part, it's like pouring molasses over your little shitty plot pancake. It comes out very slowly. And then randomly, it turns into the most liquidy syrup on earth. It's practically like water and it's just pouring out all over the place. It's drowning your pancakes. So these mystics are a bunch of women, all of whom are wearing a very awful looking white wig. Quan demands that they tell her their super secrets, and they're like, "You're not ready."
You're not ready.
Oh, she's not ready. Then why did you kidnap her? What? Because she's going to be ready soon? Is that why? Is she almost done in the oven? What? We then get some pretentious poetic blathering from Venture about how he feels about Madrigal.
Horrible as one great furnace flame.
Seriously, this dude is speaking like a Dark Souls NPC. Within this show, it's not cool or deep, it's embarrassing. This is a very sad attempt to give Venture some depth. Oh my god, he hates Madrigal. Cool. Like what? Then we return to Soren on his space rock. He has a conversation with this dude named Squirrel. I guess he's after his position as pirate captain or whatever. So Soren tries to teach him a lesson by bamboozling him and then squishing his feet. Then we return to Quan and the Mystics. Oh my god, I don't care. This episode is so painful. This is the worst one in the entire show. The Mystics give us this massive exposition dump about characters I don't care about. If these women are friendly, why'd they kidnap Quan so ruthlessly in the middle of a dust storm? Surely there's a nicer way of transporting her to your camp without her knowing where it is. I guess not. The Mystics give Quan some mystery liquid. Of course she can trust these people because her father was here, duh. Presumably. She has no proof. She just kind of thinks that. She has these visions with Master Chief. And then that random dude Reth pops up out of nowhere. Like, why is he there? She had like a 1-minute conversation with the dude. She has to like fight Master Chief with a chain that's obviously a plastic chain. You can tell because it's not weighted at all. It's just flopping around in her hands like a toy chain would. They didn't put any effort into trying to make it look real at all. She fights this imaginary Master Chief again and again to teach her a lesson about her rage. She then meets a vision of her father, and now she's finally ready to learn the super secrets that will change everything. And all she had to do was smack Master Chief's armor with a rock, I guess. The big secret. What was her father hiding all this time? What did this massive plot thread that led to like 10 different people lead to? I bet it's crazy. Guess what it is, guys? A Super Mario pipe in the middle of the desert. I wish I was joking. No, that actually happens. It's a portal that leads somewhere important that Quan just can't know until Madrigal is safe. So then Soren learns that Quan is still alive because Venture tripled the bounty on her head.
Because Venture just tripled the bounty.
Venture really wants Quan dead because he's very, very scared that she will plan an uprising. So what does Soren do when he learns of this? He goes back to the planet to find her, and he finds her very quickly. How he found her? No idea. This is the same girl that he left out in the middle of the desert to die, right? That's the same girl, right? Oh, right, he has to go back and help her because he promised John he would.
Can I trust you?
Of course you can
Then keep her safe.
The same guy that betrayed him all those years ago. It makes a lot of sense that he would go out of his way to protect this random girl who waited under some sand and then stunned him when he returned. Like, what the hell? Why is he trying to help this girl? She left him in the middle of the desert to die, and he did this to her too. The funniest thing about this entire episode is that everything that happened between him being stunned and him finding Quan was pointless. Unless, of course, this squirrel guy comes back to take revenge in some big way. And guess what, guys? That doesn't happen. Maybe it will happen in the next season. Wait to find out if something actually happens. I like how Venture and his men are all dressed in huge, heavy black jackets with multiple layers in the middle of the desert. They sure do look cool and very evil, but really, I don't think they'd want to be wearing that. So Venture and his men find Quan and Soren and they surround them. A lot of fighting ensues, and the scene eventually culminates into Quan shooting and igniting a massive structure to kill Venture and all of his men. I wish I had an easy button, because I'd be pressing it right now.
That was easy.
So that was easy, even though Venture reports to the UNSC. So they'll definitely just replace him with someone. But no, I guess Madrigal is now free. So Quan can learn the secrets to the Super Mario pipe in the middle of the desert. But they don't. They leave this plot thread open-ended. We don't see Soren or Quan for the remainder of the show. That's right. That's where her story ends. With her freeing Madrigal, I guess, even though it's not really free. And she's about to find out the secrets to this portal. Where does it lead? I bet it pops her out on the Halo ring so she can reunite with Master Chief and they can take down the Covenant together. The funniest part is that I bet I'm right. That's probably what they had planned. The main problem is that I don't give a shit about this Mario pipe in the middle of the desert. I don't give a shit about Quan or Soren. I don't particularly like them in any way. I lost interest in Quan as soon as her plot thread diverted from Master Chief's.
You can't just leave me here.
They just became two separate stories at that point that have very little to do with one another. Her entire character arc felt like a way to humanize Master Chief, who I guess was nothing but a mindless, brutal killing machine before her. Episode 8. We get a scene on Reach City on planet Reach. Man, it feels good to be on Earth City on Earth. John is spending time with McKee, and he completely trusts her for some reason, just because they had that random vision on the ring together. And she's kind of nice to him, so that's a bonus.
That's incredible.
And she's not ugly, even more of a bonus.
That's incredible.
Her hair is very clean. Halsey says something in the beginning of this episode that I think perfectly encapsulates this show. She says that John is discovering that he is connected to something beyond everybody else.
That he is connected to something beyond all of us.
When in the games, he's just meant to be an exceptional soldier, the best of the best. He's not a chosen one, he's just incredibly good on the battlefield. He has a lot of luck and a handy AI companion. He wasn't chosen by some outside force. That's stupid. Having the plot play out this way diminishes the ability to make Master Chief into the legend that he's supposed to become. He gets to that status on his own, through his own efforts, because he never gives up, he never stops fighting, and he's extremely good at it. And after years and years, and victory after victory, he becomes a legend. Not because a rock chose him to be a legend. Makee gets spooked by a dog, and her finger laser blade thing pops out. Yeah, she has like a finger blade thing that she used to kill some captain of a ship earlier in the show. What if she were itching her eye or something and then the dog popped out of nowhere and scared her? Would she just accidentally kill herself? John speaks to Margaret and Captain Keyes and suggests that they allow Makee to help them find the other artifact because she's more adept at using them. They respond to him like how I would respond. Dude, you don't know her at all. How can you trust her?
Absolutely not.
And his response is, she's human, bro.
She's human.
Just like me. Yeah, exactly. So, not trustworthy. And then Captain Keyes goes, you can't just erase decades of indoctrination.
By decades of indoctrination.
And John snarkily replies, I did. Yeah, by ripping a chip out of your back. It's not the same thing, bro. Unbelievably, they agree to help her.
Miranda can supervise.
Then there's a part when Kai lifts stuff. Yeah, look at her lift those things. She's very strong. And a bunch of soldiers cheer her on. Cool. And then John decides that he trusts and likes Makee enough to get down and dirty with her. So yeah, I guess we get to watch him lose his virginity. At the very beginning of the show when he was mowing down all those Covenant, that was the Chad Master Chief. Ironically, when Master Chief loses his virginity, he becomes the Virgin Master Chief. It's such a weird scene, like who the hell asked for this? And Cortana watches on in horror. When they finish, Makee wakes up while John is still sleeping and forcibly removes her fingernail with the blade inside it because she's changing as a person. She likes John. She hadn't really met humanity before, and John's really cool and she likes him. He's another chosen one. I mean, we're perfect for each other. Halsey calls in and speaks to Makee. She tries and fails to get Makee to trust her, so they'll bring her the artifact and she can continue her research.
I've heard enough.
Halsey is told to leave the planet by Captain Keyes. She decides to take matters into her own hands and has full control of the Spartans.
Signal the Spartans.
And orders Silver Team to deliver John Makee and the second artifact to her. Kai senses that something isn't right.
Guys, we can't do this.
So Halsey has the other two Spartans take her down. John's plan is to destroy the Covenant with the Halo Ring. Even though they have no idea how they could actually do this, they just figure, hey, we'll figure it out when we get to it. Cortana liked watching John and Makee bang, so she betrays Halsey and warns John of the other two Spartans.
Halsey initiated the Zed protocol.
Kai frees herself and tries to stop Halsey and save Chief. Cortana helps John fight the Spartans, but he still gets his ass kicked.
The left leg servo is out of spec. Take out his knee.
Miranda finds out that it was Makee who was responsible for slaughtering the crew of the UNSC ship, so she informs Margaret and Captain Keyes.
It was her voice on the recording from Gladius.
Makee grabs the artifact at the last second, there's an explosion, and then John and Makee have another vision on the ring. Episode 9, the final episode, thank God. After the explosion, Makee steals the artifact and escapes in a phantom. I guess she felt like she had no other option but to return to the Covenant. John is faced with the other Spartans and tries to tell them the truth about Halsey.
She just wants to control you.
Captain Keyes and Miranda come out of nowhere to back up Chief, because of course they do. Like, the plot contrivances just never end. People just pop up at the perfect time. The Spartans back down and decide to work together. Kai catches up with Halsey's ship as she's trying to escape and demands answers. Halsey's weirdo assistant moronically bashes Kai over the head, only to be thrown into the ceiling so hard he dies. Halsey manages to escape in a pod. Kai goes down with the ship, but survives. Heaven forbid there's any consequences to anybody's actions. Captain Keyes has a moment with John. They apprehend Halsey and bring her back. Makee brings the artifact to the Prophets. So there's something going wrong with the Spartan ship as they approach the Covenant star system. Like, there's a very real possibility that they could die right now. And Vanek just says candidly, I don't like this. This is bad.
I don't like this one bit.
The series starts to feel like Halo again when Master Chief and Silver Team dive towards the planet's surface. Master Chief lands on a grunt and he's just like, afternoon. Nice to see ya.
Afternoon.
Kai snipes one of the grunts from afar. First off, a huge waste of sniper ammo. Second, she quips, no one will remember you, after killing it.
No one will remember you.
Damn, I know you hate the Covenant, but holy shit. I'm pretty sure this little grunt had a family of little baby grunts, and they will remember their daddy grunt. His name was Corbin Dallas, and you just killed him.
Shame.
You just blasted his face off. Then they kick off the mask of another grunt and it starts to suffocate to death. These poor grunts, dude. So you know how Halsey can clone herself? And Halsey used that clone as a distraction so she could escape. The Covenant have the two artifacts and they join them together. And then Covenant reinforcements show up. Oh my god, the Spartans are outnumbered.
How many?
Hundreds, but they're coming in waves.
And then there's a massive fight on this very boring arena of just sand and random pillars. Master Chief does get some action, which is nice. There's a cool part when he blocks a hammer blow with his rifle and then fires on a second brute while blocking. But then they bring us into first person, and the ammo amount shown on the rifle depletes far slower than the rounds being fired. It's pretty bad. After fighting for a while, Master Chief is pinned down. McKee touches the joined artifacts, which reveals the location of the ring. Wow, it feels like this should have happened 4 episodes ago. She touches the artifact because she knows that an explosion will happen and it will save John. I like how these explosions never affect the person touching the artifact. Like, they're right next to it. You'd assume that they would be blown backwards. I don't know how these things work. Maybe everybody is affected except for the person touching the rock. They have like a little bubble shield that forms around them. McKee and John get another vision on the ring. She wants to stay in the vision with John because she knows the prophets don't plan to keep her around. Kai shoots McKee, severing her connection with the artifacts so John can wake up. John does not like his girlfriend being shot. You did not just shoot the person I lost my virginity to, did you, Kai? You're in for it now. Master Chief is a master problem solver.
I'd rather not piss this thing off.
And when he's stumped, he always has Cortana to back him up.
Come on, Chief.
So he never makes mistakes. Unless he's in this show, in which case he just kind of gives up and he allows Cortana to take control of his body.
Then you do it.
And she can deal with it, because machines are better. Also, why didn't Cortana just like shut down Chief when he was stuck in the vision? She didn't try at all to fix that. She was like, oh, he's stuck in this vision on the ring. Can't do shit about that. I'm not even gonna try. So yeah, I know this is a big moment for John. He fully trusts Cortana now. He trusts her enough to take full control of his body.
Take over my body.
Removing John from the fight altogether. But what this also means is that it removes John entirely from the victory. He had nothing to do with it. Wow. It was all Cortana. Good job, Cortana. Nice fighting. Master Chief is at his best when he's working with Cortana in perfect harmony. Master Chief is supposed to be the best of humanity. He's the best of the best. But if he's 1000% more effective with Cortana at the wheel, then what good is John? Cortana is an AI that gives combat advice and mission guidance. That's all. At the very end of the show, they're all able to escape and they have the artifact. Kai turns towards Master Chief, who's piloting the ship, and she's like, John, is that you?
John? Is that you?
Master Chief looks at her and doesn't respond, and instead just looks forward. Is this supposed to be the Master Chief we all know and love? You know, the silent badass one? Well, no, because it's just Cortana. Like, the dude in there is sleeping. I guess this is meant to be the Master Chief that we all know and love, the stoic, silent super soldier, the badass that hardly ever removes his helmet. But Stephen Kane thought it would be even cooler if John just didn't exist at all, and it was just Cortana. I mean, John's body is in there, but he's not there mentally. It's just Cortana. Nice. So yeah, that was the show. It's not very good. Let me tell you about the things that I liked. The armor, the guns, and props were very cool. The casting overall wasn't bad, though I may have chosen someone different for Cortana, as far as her look anyway. Her voice was perfect though. The acting was pretty good for the most part.
You're welcome.
And that's it, basically. I did like that they explored the foundations of the Spartan program, but that's basically all I liked. I didn't like Quan. Soren might have been okay if he was used differently. As far as McKee and the artifacts, I hated them, and I think they ruined the show. I found an interview with Stephen Kane, one of the creators, and this woman named Kiki Wolfkill. Pretty cool name, by the way. And it's so funny. When the interviewer is asking them questions, you can almost see them trying to convince themselves that they made a Halo show. In any sense. At one point, Kiki is like, guys, it'd be super cool if you just kept your version of Chief to yourself and be open-minded to our version of Chief, okay? This is our version. Like, she knows it's shit, but she's trying to convince herself it's not that bad. And then Stephen Kane says something to the effect of, we made this show for newcomers and the diehard fans. There's something for everybody. You know that whenever someone says that there's something for everybody, there's most likely nothing for anybody. And after he says this, he nervously looks over at Kiki. You can tell he's thinking, yeah, so that was a fucking lie. So yeah, guys, that's the Halo show. You're welcome. You never have to watch it now. Not that you were going to in the first place, but still, for those that were kind of interested and loved Halo in the past, and even for those people who still love Halo, I made this video for you. So I hope you liked it. I personally still love Halo. I thought Infinite was fun.
Spurring in my sights!
It's definitely not the Halo that I grew up with, not the Halo that I loved. But it's okay. Some of that spark is there. Somewhere. It's like deeply buried, but it's there. And what I'm talking about is the grapple hook, because holy shit, it completely changed Halo for the better, I think. It's amazing. Thank you so much to all my patrons. You guys make videos like this possible. Shout out to everybody that's on screen right now. A lot of people kept demanding that we restock stuff over at alienclothing.com, so we've done that. And there's a bunch of new stuff, like this one, the melting smileys button up. I love it. It's so cool. We have a bunch of really creative and awesome designs over there, so go over there and check them out. That's AYYLIEN clothing.com. Let me know what you thought of the Halo show in the comment section down below, the 30 of you that actually saw it.